and then I'll turn it back on.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome. So, I'm so happy you're all here today in chat and everybody on Replay Crew. Today we have a very special guest. We have True Crime and Justice with Anna D. She's going to talk a little bit about that motion to strike the death penalty regarding the autism spectrum disorder, which is great because I would love to have somebody explain to me, like, what is that? So that's great. We're going to hear from Anna today. Everybody, welcome Anna. So Anna,
Hello.
hi. So what was it about this motion to strike death penalty regarding the autism spectrum disorder that made you so interested about or knowledgeable about what did you want to say about it?
Well, my son has autism, and my other kids got learning disabilities. So, I mean, I just hear a lot of people saying that that Ian's doing this on purpose, and he doesn't have this and all that, but nobody knows what he was born with. So, I don't know if I can see that. So I can't really see the article if you want to read
Oh,
that. I'm sorry.
sure. So this is from autism.org. It's the Autism Research Institute. And so we brought up this page just to give a little bit of a definition of what autism is. And I really liked this definition because I thought that it was very descriptive. It gave me a pretty good idea of what this is. So it says, what is autism? Autism is a developmental disorder with symptoms that appear within the first 3 years of life, or they're born with it. Its formal diagnostic name is Autism Spectrum Disorder. The word spectrum indicates that autism appears in different forms with varying levels of severity. That means each individual with autism experiences their own unique strengths, symptoms, and challenges. And I also liked this definition over here because this is the National Institutes of Health. And it also says the autism spectrum disorder is a neurological disorder and a developmental disorder that affects how people interact with others, communicate, learn, and behave. Okay, and then I'll turn it back over to you, Anna.
Okay. Let's see. I'm going to try to blow this up. Hopefully I don't get this. I'm on my phone, so. Oh, I got it.
Hello, Twist, Danger Zone, Diane, welcome. Good to see you all. I saw Danger Zone at Miss Annie Potts earlier and Twiz, and Diane and I are always hanging out. So,
I mean, we could talk about, like I hear different. I'm hearing different news stations, and then someone else said something about you can't blame autism on Brian, and I can say this. I mean, like my son, he's smart. He's very, very smart. However, his reading level and his writing level are at 6th or 7th grade level, and he's a senior. He's graduating this year. So, I mean, just because Brian's a PhD student doesn't mean that he doesn't have autism or the Asperger's, because Asperger's is a higher functioning than some people that have autism. Autism, it ranges. There's people that there's kids that don't even talk and they have autism, and they use their hands, and there's different signs, you know. Making friends is hard. I know Matthew doesn't have any friends. He stays to himself, but now he wants to make friends. So, you know, he grows out of it. And then I know that, you know, even if he is a PhD student, doesn't mean he's not getting help in his school studies, because these colleges, they give the help to anybody that has a learning disability, that has you can have autism, and then you learn different. I mean, they do, because, and I do know this because my kids, my older kids, they're in college and they get all the help they can get. They get tutoring, and there's a special section there for that the college has that helps with people who are in or were in special education classes, or they were diagnosed with autism, and then or Asperger's or whatever. So that's really basically what I have to say.
So, in my experience with the spectrum and the neurodivergence is a lot of times, as again, it's different for each person who has autism, but they usually have a superpower in one area, and they're very good at that, and they struggle with a lot of other things. It's not a balanced thing. And so somebody, by all appearances, you may not know, but then you're not around for all the struggles and how hard it is to get from one activity to the next, or how hard and difficult it is to communicate or learn how to take care of yourself, or how to function in a world that really isn't made for the neurodivergent or autistic. It's a completely different communication style. I know they have some schools now that do cater to that. Like, I think they have figured out some patterns of how they are able to learn, and so they have these schools where they have these special curriculums, which is awesome. And I forget what, because I was talking to someone about it, I don't know, a few years ago, and I forget how she said it was set up, but I remember thinking to myself, like, that is completely different than it's. So it's like when you hear some of these things about what kinds of things we can do to help people with autism or on the spectrum or Asperger's to be able to function in a world that they probably don't understand completely, it's hard to wrap our heads around it. And like, imagine feeling like that, like 100% of the times, like, you know, you can have the situation reversed. So by all appearances, Brian Koberger could, like you were saying, Anna, he could be a PhD student, because that's probably one of his superpowers, that he gravitated towards what he was studying. And I do think that if somebody is autistic or on the spectrum, they have a tendency to maybe obsess over one thing, or they have like 3 different things that they want to talk about all the time. And it's these things that they can't really control. Sometimes it's really adorable, you know, and sometimes they can blend, and you may not even know that they struggle from day to day.
Right. Yes. And they do struggle. And I know, because my Matthew struggles. He's like, I don't want to go back to, he has to go back to high school for 2 more years, because it's a program that he's in, and then he goes to the college for college classes. But he wants to be with normal people. This is what he's saying. I want to be with normal people. So he realizes, and he doesn't like me. I say I have a special needs child, and he doesn't like that anymore. He doesn't want to be called special needs anymore. So they have their, like, they don't like certain things. And, you know, I'm pretty sure that Ryan did not want this to come up, you know, because it does
Absolutely.
affect you, you know. And you can get made fun of for having a learning disability or whatever it is, you know, throughout your school years. So, I mean, that's like people saying that Anne's doing this on purpose, and this and this and this. Nobody knows what he experienced when he was younger. Nobody knows that.
Exactly. And I do know that people in the beginning, a lot of people actually had a gut feeling that he may have been neurodivergent or autistic. A lot of people, they just intuitively knew. So it is confusing to me that people in the news or some others around that they're surprised by it. It's to me, it wasn't really a surprise. I was like, okay, but it is. So it might not be surprising to me that we found out that he might be autistic, but I guess the aspect that surprises me is that it's on a court docket, not that the fact that he might actually have it. You know what I mean?
Right. And I'm pretty sure that he was tested. And I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that they have his records from his earlier years in school and everything. So, I mean, it does matter that he brings this out now because of the death penalty. And I know that they had, I don't know the case. It was a 2002 case. And that's why the Supreme Court, or the U.S. Supreme Court, took anybody that has that's diagnosed with autism or something cannot be put to death, because I'm not sure. I'm not going to quote myself, so I'm not really too familiar with that. But I do know there was one case in Texas where he was accused of shaking baby syndrome, and there's another case, and I'm pretty sure everybody knows about this, Gypsy and Nick Godejohn. Nick Godejohn has autism. Unfortunately, his parents weren't there to help him through it and make him realize he needs to make good decisions. So his level is probably lower than my son's. My son's, he knows how to make good decisions, to an extent. I do have to remind him, but he has other problems too. He's brain damage too. So he has the autism, plus he has brain damage. But he'll get through it. I mean, I'm not, so.
Well, yeah, I know. In my experience, I do have someone close to me that I do believe is on the spectrum. No formal diagnosis, but they do learn to adapt, and they do learn things in their own way. It might not be how a typical on a typical spectrum, it may not be as straightforward as maybe one would think, but they've learned how to do it that way. It makes sense for them to do it that way, and they have these things where they're able to survive, and that's just their world. That there's a lot of things that one may not realize for the internal world of what somebody experiences every day when they're on the spectrum.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. So. There you go.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, you brought it up, Robert.
Yeah.
There you go.
Anyway, look. Oh, we have circles now. I hit a button.
Uh-oh.
So I believe this is the case you were talking about, Anna. And yes. It says, what to know about Robert Robertson on death row in Texas for a crime that never occurred. This article is from 6/18/24. Oh gosh, that picture just breaks my heart. I can't look.
I actually, I know there's people that have differences of opinions with death penalty, and I'm not getting into that, but I actually shared everything about him only because, one, I just don't believe in the death penalty. Two, if he's really innocent and they have this evidence, then he should be given another trial, So, I mean, same thing, people got to understand, if she does not go through this, it's going to get overturned, whatever the conviction is.
Yeah.
Because this was not brought to anybody's attention. So it has to be brought to the judge's attention. So, I mean, and people talk about his IQ and all that. So with the IQ, just because You think that he has a high IQ. You don't know. You don't know if he does or not. And when you see him talking to the police officer and he's asking these questions, I do the same thing. I ask a lot of questions and I end up talking and making sure I'm understanding. So that's probably what he was doing when he was stopped at when he was stopped by the police in where was it, Pullman or Moscow. So for him asking all these questions, he, that's, so you get that in your brain and you understand, you know.
That's a very perceptive, good point, because we could all see he was trying to process what was going on in his own way. Yeah. Wow.
Right. For any of the stops, that's what he was doing, you know. And people just saying, oh well, this and this and this, and it's just like, if you're not familiar with it and you have not gone through it, then you should not talk about it. Or do your research before you talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to blow up what you put on there. I'm on my phone. Did we ever find out what happened? Did he is he getting a new trial? Roberson?
I am not sure whether he's getting a new trial or not. But I do believe that the death penalty was stayed, that there was a court decision that came down and said that that will not be the sentencing. And I think this is what a lot of people are missing, is that a motion to strike the death penalty and the reason why the medical records, like you were saying, might be wanting that there's medical records that need to go along with what Anna's doing, because that's part of the sentencing phase. That's
Mhm.
after. Sentencing is for somebody who's already been convicted, and that they've already put on their defense. And so it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the current trial that we are anticipating in July or August or whenever that is. This is for after, if it gets to that point.
Right. And I don't know. I guess people don't understand that. So
yeah.
So
So, like, and I think that's a lot of what the medical records that we saw posted on the docket. Well, everybody was questioning whose are they? And I'm assuming, I don't know for sure, but like you were saying, Anna, they would have to get all of his records from all of his schooling and any type of therapy or special education programs that he was in. And he probably has to do a lot more testing with other healthcare professionals so that they can sort through that data and they can evaluate him. And then the physicians or the doctors that sit with him and talk with him, they will probably write up a report that we probably won't see because it's probably covered under HIPAA. But then that will be the basis and the bulk of what is going to be relied upon for a decision like this, I believe. I could be wrong about that.
And I think you're probably right. And I think there's a test that they give them because my son was given a test last year. So because he gets Social Security for right now. But he had to go through the evaluation. So they probably redid his evaluation and to see, his level and all that. And it's just like really rethink, or people that are, that are not autistic or whatever, will say, oh, that's easy. But it's a really hard test because I've seen my son. I was right there and I see him do it. And, I had to do it a while ago because when I went to college, I had to get the extra help too, because I do have a learning disability, but I'm not autistic. So, it's a hard test, and that's probably they give them a test. It's a test to see for you to get that diagnosis as autism or whatever it is.
Yes, yes. I took similar tests too because I'm ADHD.
Okay.
And I think that's on the spectrum too, on a different spot. So yeah,
Right.
those tests are difficult.
Right.
And that's awesome that you were able to have some done too, because they're there to help. They're there to make the quality of life better for people who do struggle.
Right. Right. And if that's what he has to do, because they have to prove that he has autism, I'm pretty sure they have to prove it. And I'm pretty sure, I mean, autism does not go away. It's there for life.
Yeah.
So, I'm pretty sure they have all his records, and I'm pretty sure his parents probably sent it because his mom's a teacher, so she probably knows about it, so they probably sent all those records to them. Now they're going to have to go through a court hearing, and the judge is going to have to rule, and if he doesn't rule correctly, his decision can be overturned, just like Roberson. So, you know, um, and I understand, people want somebody responsible for, the deaths of the 4 college students. However, you want it done correctly, and you want to make sure you have the right person, and you don't want to put a person behind bars to the death penalty that is autistic, or in that range, and he's actually an innocent man.
Yeah.
So, what Anne's doing, she's doing everything correctly, you know.
Yes, and you reminded me of a really good point here, that I know that you provided me the research where you found the law for Idaho about this specific thing, and I know it has language in there that is archaic language. However,
Yeah.
we can't apply our 2025 language to the language that is written down as and codified as law. In addition
Right.
to that, these diagnostic tests, there's all of this criteria that we might not be aware of because we're not actually the health professional who either created these diagnostics or works within them to be able to perform their function and their role. So
Right.
even though we're reading that and we think, okay, well, maybe Brian may not apply, we don't know. There's so much that goes into this.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And I really didn't read the whole thing because I was on my phone when I looked it up. Because as soon as that popped up, and I'm not saying anybody from here, but I noticed that the news and other people were just like, you know, oh, he's doing this because he wants to get off, and this and this and this and this. So, I mean, it's just like, I only brought that up because, I sent it to you because I wanted it, I just didn't read it. And it's too small for me to read because I wear contacts. So.
Am I frozen? I'm sorry, guys. I think I'm frozen. Can you see me?
I can see you.
Okay, good. Yes, so I want to reiterate again, because I'm glad you sent me that information, because once you did, it kind of clicked for me that this is not for trial. This is not a defense. This doesn't really have much to do with that. She's not going to come at that within the defense she's going to put on for Brian. This is for a separate trial.
Right.
For the sentencing phase, if it gets there.
Right. Right. If it gets there, and it's to remove the death penalty. That's all it is. It's not saying, oh, well, he's going to take a plea bargain and they're removing it. No, it has nothing to do with that. It's they're take it to court so they can get it removed if he qualifies. If he qualifies as autistic, which I'm pretty sure he probably does. So.
Yeah, and so even if it wasn't a motion to strike the death penalty regarding the autism spectrum disorder, it could have been something else. If he had any other mental health issues, or he had any history of seeing a therapist, all of those notes would be available in the sentencing phase. So even if it wasn't this, it would have been something else, because this is like the natural flow of what happens. So
Right.
this could be the first time people are seeing something like this, but it's kind of new that we're able to follow cases like this on YouTube. So yeah, we're probably going to see a lot of things that we haven't seen before.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Yes, I think we will.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Yeah, I'm so happy you gave me that, because it's so great when you share your research with me, and I know that you're doing so much work behind the scenes, and it's really incredible when you let me in on some of that research. I love research. It's so much fun.
I always send you the stuff that I find.
I know, and I love it. I read all of it.
Yeah. Yeah, especially that one thing I sent you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I don't,
but I love,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh, I was going to say, I love everything that you're doing too.
Oh, thank you. Right. And similar to you, like, I know that there are certain things that occur within this arena of the Brian Koberger case. And I know that we're all here for a reason. We all we may have a call to action, or we have a sense of a responsibility that we want to bring to the world, to bring goodness. And that was sort of like what I felt. I felt a responsibility that I have all of this information with how trace transfer DNA works. I am
Mm-hmm.
able to read these scholarly journals, and I
Right.
realized quickly that there were a lot of people out there who don't quite understand it. And so I thought, well, I've got to get out there. I've got to show people what I'm reading, give them all the information I have so they can look exactly at what I'm looking at if they're interested in learning further. And I feel like
Right.
for you, I could be wrong, but this was one of those things for you where you felt like this is a call of action. I want to take some responsibility here, and I want to give people the information I have for for the goodness of everything that's happening right now. And that's so great to see when there's people who take it upon themselves and like their goodness to bring out the information for everybody. That's amazing. Thank you so much, Anna.
You're welcome. But
Good.
I can't stay much longer because I got to go home and go to sleep for an hour and
Well,
a half.
this has been absolutely great that you've been here. Please just get in contact with me again, and we will do it again. I'm so happy, and thank you for coming by.
Oh, you're welcome. Maybe it's not going to be in my car next time. It'll be on my computer.
Well, we can plan for that too. You stay safe and take
All
care.
right. Thank you. I'll see you later. Bye.
Bye. All right, everybody. That was Anna. Isn't that amazing? She's so good. And Anna said that she will listen in the chat, and she'll be here. I do know that there were some documents that came out on the docket. And well, before I get to anything, I just want to say hello to everybody. I see Kate Ari, Leah Story, welcome. Need some Z's, welcome. Good to see you. Kane, is that Kane? No, Phantom Kane. Suzanne B, welcome. Twiz, welcome. Too Fast for Flea's best name. Welcome. Oh, it's good to see you all. Kane is probably sleeping. That's what Twiz says. Yeah. Oh, that was so nice for Anna to stop by and give us some of that information and that personal knowledge and experience with the autism disorder. Thank you so much. I have her link to her her YouTube channel in the description, so please check out her page and subscribe. I know she would have stayed longer if she could. So I don't know if you guys have seen, there are 2 new things that are posted on the docket. The first one is order regarding sealing or redacted filings. The second one is order sealing defendant's unredacted motion in limine 5 and motion in limine 14. Now, I haven't looked at these. I briefly looked it over to show Anna that these came up like right before we were going to go live. So, and I have these open. So this is the first one. Okay, this is the unredacted. This is order sealing defendant's motion in limine number 5 regarding inconclusive data and motion in limine number 14 regarding the statistical analysis under seal. Ooh. The court having before it the motion to file defendant's motion in limine number 5, inconclusive, and motion in limine number 14, statistical analysis under seal, and good cause appearing. Now, therefore, it is hereby ordered the defense motion in limine number 5 regarding inconclusive data and motion in limine number 14 regarding the statistical analysis shall be sealed. All right, and then there's some handwriting stuff. Testimony which is exempt. The documents, something about being exempt. I can't read his handwriting. Oh, look. Oh, gosh, look. Becca Barlow, attorney at law. She's on here now. You guys see her? She's on there. Oh, exempt from disclosure. Thank you, Kate. Oh, thank you, Story, Leah Story. She has subscribed to Anna. That is great. That's good to see. I'm so excited to see Becca Barlow on here, attorney at law. Whoa, that was a move, a big move. All right, so the second one here. That's the order regarding sealing or redacting files. All right, let me just check something real quick. I'm so happy you guys are here. A replay crew. There were a lot of things going on. All right, it looks like Amy Potts is going to go live in just a few minutes. So what I'll do is I'll just give you a brief showing of this. And then we can go, I'll hop over to her live. This is an order regarding sealing or redacting filings. Oh, I like how Hippler says here, the parties must also seek the least restricted method to protect information, or that should be exempt from disclosure. That's great, because they can always redact, they can always, there's good reasons to keep things sealed, like medical records, for instance. But the other things, yeah, you just redact them, and we always see those black lines, so we're always trying to figure out whose name is behind it, that kind of thing. That is awesome. So that's a point for Hippler there. Here she is, Becca Barlow. Awesome, very good to see that. All right, I'm so happy you guys are here. Thank you so much. we can hop over to Annie's. You all have a good night. I will be in the chat.